There we go. We're live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And my new friends, Paul and Jennifer Henczel, are on the line with me, fellow podcasters. And just thank you so much for joining me for a conversation today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's our pleasure.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys better. I'll just say off the top, you guys you started a podcast, and it's called The Inspiring Show, right? And
Yep.
the link is down below. We already put that in. And just to warm us up, why don't you tell us a little bit about it? I just want to say you guys are doing a great job, like your graphics, and you're having great guests. I listened to the first couple shows and was really impressed. And it always helps to be inspired. I like your positive approach, but just from your perspective, how's it going? And what are you trying to do with the podcast?
Oh, we absolutely love podcasting. And so just knowing our story, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I have transitioned most of my business online now. And so the podcast is a great way to get our message out to, we have a goal, and, our whole passion is to help people tell their story and to be positive. And so we want to inspire others through the podcast.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
A question that I want to start asking people is whether or not they've had a defining moment in their lives. And I know from following you guys on social media, I'm not sure where I first discovered you on social media. I'm sure, I know for sure we have some mutual friends, so that's probably where it popped up. And so I wanted to start to ask people if they've had a defining moment in their lives that affects them to this day, has changed them, transformed them, is the reason why they do what they do. So Jennifer, you touched on it just a little bit, but maybe Paul, you could share with us a story about the defining moment in your life.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a little more than 10 years ago when I was working as a supervisor in a sawmill, and we were cutting extremely large pieces of wood that day. And one of these pieces got stuck. I had to manually free up this cant. It was now, creating a massive wall of wood in behind this one piece. And so I had to crawl into a very small confined space to manually free up this giant log. And as soon as that happened, someone turned on the machine, and I was immediately being crushed alive by 12,000 pounds of wood.
Oh, man.
So it took approximately 12 minutes for my coworkers to rescue me from this machine. I wasn't breathing. Everyone thought I was dead. And when I was rushed to the hospital, the doctors and nurses and paramedics were all saying my organs were failing. That's what their main concern was. So there was, multiple injuries that I had to go through. And my recovery has been quite long, and I still deal with, quite a few physical and emotional injuries, including PTSD, brain injury, spine damage and nerve damage and things like that. But really, since then, with my wife's help, I've transitioned from being an injured mill worker to now an international speaker. And that's all through, sharing my story and, the challenges that I've gone through and the changes I've made since then, to help others. So it's really through storytelling that's kind of brought me here.
Paul, what's the main message that you tell people today?
Is that everyone has a story, and their story matters. That people really want to hear the challenges you've gone through and the changes you've made to get where you are today. Like, people want to hear what you do, but they want to hear why you do what you do, what sets you apart. And so the situations that we have all gone through to get to where we are might be different, but there's similarities that we can draw from.
That's great. Yeah. Wow. And so you still experience things from that today. Hey, there's still some things that you feel like you're recovering from, I would imagine, or you express that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the things is that I mention, when I speak, it's like having a concussion that never goes away. So there's
Mm.
a lot of post-concussive symptoms, a lot of headaches, migraines that I have to deal with. I get about 70 to 90 injections in my head, spine, and shoulder, like every 4 months, and that
Wow.
helps me. So I just kind of see physio and stuff too, and just do different things to help me with dealing with chronic pain and anxiety and PTSD now.
Wow. And Jennifer, I'm sure you could speak for the next hour about this, but what has it been like for you to go through this with Paul? And how are you feeling today?
Good. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm good. We're probably, it was a long battle, as you can imagine, with WCB and things like that, but we never spoke about that. We always focused on the positive, and it really served us well. It was one of the main tools we put in our tool belt, to get through this, was staying positive. And also we learned a whole bunch of other strategies, including storytelling and meditation, mindfulness, different exercises and stretching we didn't know before. So that we have a whole bunch of things in our lifestyle now that help us overall that we didn't have before. So, we practice all of those things. And in our speaking, Paul talks about mastering your message and helping people tell their story. And my background is marketing, so I focus on monetizing your message. And so we have such a good time now speaking together. And, we have a whole different lifestyle than we did before.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. Story is so powerful. I was in a conversation last night with some people, and there was one gal in particular who shared, she had the opportunity recently to contribute, and she just said, maybe for the first time in her life, she felt heard and seen. And I love that everybody's story matters. I was thinking for a while, a podcast idea was to just talk to people and get their story. Like, they don't have to be celebrities. They don't have to have some amazing story. Just the story of their lives. Everybody has something to contribute, or everybody's story matters, right? I think you guys said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have a big traumatizing story.
Sure.
For it to impact others.
Right.
Yeah.
Any transition from, you were happy, this was happening, but then something happened to take you to a new place from A to B, and people, it really helps whenever we tell our stories. Other people will come up to us and want to tell us their story. And we're so encouraged by that, and then it's a ripple effect of people sharing and connecting, because storytelling is the best connector.
Oh yeah.
I bet. I mean, go ahead, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just that it's just one of the best ways we can connect with people. They're just so relatable on so many levels. So
yeah, it makes me think of our story. My wife has had 3 or 4 concussions, and so the concussion symptoms last a long time, and it's kind of something that people don't see. They don't know that it's going on, and so I see it in her loss of fatigue and that sort of thing, and we were rear-ended a year or so ago, and it just brought concussion symptoms back. She didn't bang her head or anything like that, but then the symptoms were back, and I actually experienced it a little bit myself too. It took a while for that to go away, but yeah, it's one of those unseen kind of injuries or struggles that people go with, but it's very real, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Right on. I want to share one more thing too. I know we're here to talk about you guys, but I have another story too. I was just working on the downtown east side, and story was so powerful down there. To hear people's stories, I understood. It helped me understand, for maybe the first time in my life, why people might be down there or struggling with addiction. And I learned that that nobody ends up down there or deep in addiction without having some sort of trauma in their lives. And often once you sat down with someone and heard their story, you had much more grace and understanding and compassion for them, because it's like, okay, I get it now. Because my executive director at the time, the guy I was working with, said, nobody ends up down here without trauma in their lives, so yeah. Excellent. Well, it's great. You guys, how many episodes into the podcast are you now?
I think 15.
Yeah.
15. Oh, good for you. So you're putting one out every week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Does any of them really, do you have favorites yet? Are you doing it, Paul? You're just doing the interviews, aren't you? Or are you doing it together?
There's some we do together, and there's, some that we each do by ourselves, but yeah.
Is there someone else's story that's really stood out to you so far?
Oh, wow.
I think Matthew Dix, author of Storyworthy, probably because we could all talk about story all day long.
Yeah.
But they've all been our favorites. We just love all the people. We love all our guests and all the people that reach out to us after the interviews. It's just so touching, and it's so moving and really life-giving.
Yeah. And we kind of, there's 3 themes of stories that we kind of go with. So there's adventure stories. So we interviewed a Hollywood helicopter cameraman, for example, and
that's the one I listened to. Yeah.
So adventure stories, overcoming adversity type stories, and then achievement stories. So like a lot of people like Dave Jackson we've interviewed, and Dean Graziosi. And so, just a lot of really great guests with great stories, and kind of focusing on the, different changes that they've made for the better.
Great. And have you been learning some things yourselves? Listening to these films? Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Our podcast coach said, there is no way, you just have to start. There's no way your 10th episode is always going to be better than your first episode. You just have to start and learn. So we're learning the podcast stuff, but of course learning things from each guest as well. So it's just an amazing experience. We love it.
Yeah.
It's great. All right on. Well, I'm so proud of you guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank
and
you.
So I hope people will check that out, theinspiringshow.com. So
you're going to be on the show, right?
Yeah, for sure. We haven't lined that up yet, but I'd love to be on there. I'll have to think about, I have kind of I was going to say I don't have much of a story, but I guess we all have something to share.
Yes, you do.
Sure you do.
Maybe you guys can coach me a little bit, and I'll try to come up with something. Yeah. So I've been asking my guests ever since COVID-19, actually why I started doing these lives again, or just doing these live interviews, not again, but just starting kind of over. I was explaining to Paul and Jennifer how I kind of got a little bit burnt out on podcasting, but this is a little bit different. And I just felt with COVID-19 that I just felt inspired to talk about the Inspiring Show. I felt inspired to have some conversations again with some friends and find out how they're doing and checking in with them. So, I mean, one question I've been asking is how is the social isolation and what's going on, how has that affected your lives?
Personally, like just not being able to kind of get out in the community as much as we did before. Like we have favorite spots in Vancouver where we really like to go on a regular basis, like Lonsdale Quay, and Capilano, Lynn Valley, even Granville Island. There's just kind of favorite restaurants and places we like to make day trips to. So we haven't been able to do that obviously as much, and just kind of seeing a few of my personal best friends. But
yeah. So you're missing getting out and going to some of your favorite spots. How about you, Jennifer? How's it impacted your life?
Well, people don't want to hear this, but I love it.
You love it.
So, yeah, I mean, my life and business hasn't changed much. Any places I was speaking publicly switched their events to online.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just spoke online instead. And, so I'm really, I'm good with working online. I think you probably know my story. I had a network from Paul's accident. I created, when his accident happened, I saw the people from the communities he was involved with before his accident. Like, he was a football coach.
Mm.
And football players and football coaches would come around and say, "Hey, we're here for you, Coach Paul." And that was so encouraging and really helped us through those hard times. And I thought, I really need something like that for the entrepreneur world.
Mm.
And so at that time, I invited some fellow business owners to lunch. And to my surprise, 50 business owners showed up that day.
Wow.
And so I started that one meeting turned into a group, and then that group turned into a network. And I had a network of meetups throughout the Lower Mainland, Fraser Valley, Vancouver. And, so I would be out at events a lot. And then I sold the network. And since then, I've just been building my business online from home, basically. So unless we're actually speaking at events, I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And so it hasn't changed my business much.
Yeah.
And so I actually love it. And I always thought I was an extrovert. But I think I'm loving this so much that I think I might be a little bit of an introvert.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more extroverted. I'm more of like, that social butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're missing the interaction, and Jennifer's enjoying the non-interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a way, I've also kind of learned to kind of take this and slow down and, kind of, put more focus on, okay, well, there's no excuse. I can take care of myself better like I've wanted to now, right? So just kind of going for walks and, kind of simple things, kind of got to learn to enjoy those more, or, you don't want to drive yourself crazy. So
yeah, there's some definite themes coming out in all of this, I think, as people are enjoying or not enjoying slowing down, or hear that a lot of people from people, recognizing and appreciating the simple things, and gratitude growing and that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So
we've been doing a lot more walking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So you're able to do that. You found some places where you're able to walk out there. Yeah, that's good. So I've been asking 3 questions, but since there's 2 of you, I'll ask you to just pick one that you want to answer. And the 3 questions I've been asking everybody is, what's something that you've had to let go of because of COVID-19? What are you waiting for? Like, where are you kind of in the middle, like liminal space? Maybe it's something you don't have power over to change, and you're just waiting for this to be over so that you can work on it or change it. And finally, what's bringing you life? What's bringing you new life? So you can answer 1 or all 3 of those questions. I'll let you guys decide.
Did you want to do the first one?
Or I was going to talk a little bit just on the last one.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Just kind of being able to, during this time, to kind of bring more calm into your life. There's a lot of, outside stresses that, we can't control. So it's kind of looking for that calm and really, appreciating what's around you, like some of the small things. So, doing mindfulness, like about a month ago, I did an episode just kind of focusing on mindfulness and how you can do it a couple minutes a day. You can do it when you're walking, and just how, it brings your thoughts to the present moment without judgment. And so I've just kind of really taken time to kind of focus more on that and kind of calming, anxieties and negative thoughts and things like that. So.
Excellent. I love that. And tell me just a little bit more about your mindfulness practice. Like, what do you do? If you don't mind just sharing that, you can tell us about your exercise.
Yeah, there's so many different types or ways, to practice mindfulness. But one way is just really to kind of focus on your breathing. And you can do that, before you go to sleep, laying down, sitting. You can focus on a particular object, or just really kind of focus on things even when you're walking, just shapes of clouds or just the sounds your feet make, and the pressure between you and the earth, and just kind of grounding yourself and just allowing yourself to be present, to kind of let those, to see, anxious thoughts for what they are. And so
I love it. I love it. I think especially now, some people are anxious about things, and who knows, maybe that anxiety will grow. We don't know what's going to happen to the economy or how long this is going to last. But I think I love what you're saying. I think bringing it back to the present moment certainly helps for sure. Jennifer, how about you?
A lot of people have reached out because they're wanting to move their businesses from what was primarily offline and putting some of it online. And so I'm seeing a lot of people revisit their expertise, and how they can contribute to the world in this format, in a digital format, putting their, getting used to video, I've seen some people go from just frightened of video to just loving video. And it's just like having a conversation with your friend and just sharing your knowledge and what you know, just in a different format. And people are discovering that human behavior is the same online and offline. We need to connect.
Yeah. I'm working with a realtor, and who shall remain unnamed, but we did one of these conversations with him, and he was so surprised at how easy it was. And it psyched him up for video too. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Our son is a realtor.
Oh, is he? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Give him a shout out. What's his name?
Nathan Alexander.
Yeah.
Nathan Alexander. Okay, great.
With Sutton.
With Sutton, is he out in Abbotsford?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think it's great what you guys are doing and how you've adjusted to a new life. Sometimes things just happen to us that we don't have much control over, and suddenly create huge changes. And you guys, I'm sure it hasn't been easy, but thank you so much for sharing your story with me today and with us today. I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Yeah,
thank you
problem.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And thanks. Jennifer, we should give a shout out to the Van Podfest. We don't know when that's going to happen, but we're going to be on a panel at some point talking about podcasting. So
yes.
I'm
so excited to connect with you on that.
Yeah, should be good. We got a good group of people, and we'll see what happens. So. All right. Thanks again. I'll let you guys get back to your lives. And I appreciate you. It's been good to spend this time with you. And I look forward to getting to know you guys better.
Yeah, you too, Rod. Thank you.
Us too. Thanks, Rod.
Yeah, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.